Hello there, everybody. We've got people filing in droves. A big batch just came through. I'm going to introduce our special guest here in just one moment. I just want to make sure, do a quick sound check that you guys can hear my voice okay. You should be able to see the screen as well. We're looking at Alex's dashboard. So would you mind just typing into the questions box, letting me know that you can hear my voice okay, that you can see my screen? Awesome. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Herman. Perfect. Well, I am Costas Pepis. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Agent Legend, and we're very, very excited to bring you this special success webinar. I have with me a really, really good friend to the company and personal friend of mine, Alex Khodadad. And Alex, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm going to show something. I'm going to show something really cool here. One second. I just have to figure out how to get it done. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
That is Alex and I in Nashville, Tennessee. We had the privilege to be able to hang out and meet. And then also we were at NAR. Alex was such a great host. And we met up in NAR. You took me to dinner. We had the chance to connect and just had a great time talking about the industry, the success that you've been having. So this is your official welcome and thank you, Alex.
Thanks again. You're welcome.
Alex, tell everybody you run a team. What is the location again? I know it's California.
Yes, we're located in Northern California. We're about 30 minutes east of San Francisco in the city of Pleasant Hill.
Awesome. And you have a team, right?
Correct. So I own the brokerage. It's a boutique brokerage, and I have a team of 6 agents. Correct.
That's awesome. So, and the other thing that Alex, you are too humble to say about yourself is that you are a celebrity. So everybody, Alex is a prominent coach with the Jared James organization and was recently featured in Jared's podcast, From Iran to the Golden Gate Bridge. And one of our, Alexandra from our team was just telling me how amazing this was and how inspiring this was just the other day. I haven't had a time to listen to it myself, but I'm looking forward to doing that. And I think you guys would be well served to go to the podcast. You can find it in iTunes and listen to Alex's story. I'm sure it's an exciting story, right? Alex, you were telling me they could make a movie out of it.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. I hope I think it's pretty, yeah, what I went through, correct. Yeah, normally most people don't go through what I went through as a child. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we're so honored to have you. So we're gonna have a great casual session here. Alex has volunteered to just be transparent about his campaign, specifically around old leads. So Alex has had a lot of success in a lot of different use cases. So he's just he's such a good model of the successful leader who takes action and who creates momentum out of the assets that he already has. So one thing that Alex was excitedly talks about is how, I mean, how many old leads did you have, Alex? You like advertised with Zillow for a long time. You did well. You got a bunch of deals out of them, but then you had like a ton of old leads that you just thought, I need to do something with these, right? Is that how this came about?
Correct. I had about 1,550 old leads that had been in through our pipeline for the last 3 years. And I decided to move my resources from Zillow to realtor.com. So I said, I need to go back and re-engage. And it was an awakening for me. I made money, but also it was an awakening that it was a good lesson for me to learn that how important follow-up is.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm just looking here. Everybody could see your dashboard. This is your old leads campaign. You've had a 29% response rate with this campaign, which is really cool. These results are just for the last 30 days. So that's all we can see in your dashboard is the last 30 days. So you've had 145 prospects the last 30 days. Almost 30% of them have responded. And if you're okay with that, Alex, I want to look at, well, actually, you know what? I do want to see what you're doing to get this success. So I want to share with everybody your campaign so that they could model after it and be able to ask you questions on it. But before we do that, I always like to go into that, begin with the end in mind, right? Like let's look at some of the results that you've had recently. And I just pulled these at random. I don't know if these are the best examples, but they're certainly good examples. Like this lead here, good God. So May 7th is when Alex first reached out to this lead. He dropped a voicemail at 8 a.m. on May 7th. And he's texting, calling, emailing, texting. Here we are now in August, right? So August, this is, gosh, months and months later. Look at all these contacts, very diligent. Here we are in September. We're not even in October yet. And then look at this. This is what's so funny. After all these communications on October 17th, hi again, are you still interested in searching for a home? And this person says yes and gives you their phone number. Like, it is so funny to me. I laugh every time I see this because look at what you had to do. And this person is acting like this may as well be the first message they ever got from you. But that's what it took. I mean, have you noticed that kind of thing, or is it just me, Alex? Because when you look at all this all at once?
Yeah. So again, Costas, 70 to 80% of your business is going to come from follow-up. Some of those follow-ups are going to take months. So usually when a lead comes in, you got 10 days to try to get hold of them. That's, and I'm talking calling, texting, emailing. Now, some people say that's too much. Well, like I said, after that 1,550 leads that I had with Zillow, and we found out that 25 to 30% of them actually did buy, was because that's what we used to think. Oh, let's not bother them too much. Well, guess what? Somebody else bothered them more and they got the business. So the fortune is in the follow-up. You got to follow up. You do not stop until they tell you, leave me alone, do not bother me again. Then you stop. But until they don't do that, you keep following up, and you need to have systems in place and technology. So that way, in case if you forget, this thing is going. This is a machine. It's constantly going. It doesn't stop. It doesn't take a break.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that impresses me that I like, it's good practice. You've had this person in 4 different campaigns. So it's funny because it looks like you ran them through an old leads campaign and then they ignored it. Then you ran them through another old leads campaign that they actually engaged on, but they originally came through on a Zillow campaign. So it just speaks to the importance of following up consistently over long term. Here's another one. 10/24, October 24th, not too long ago, you did voicemail, text, email, text message. And then the person said, I think you have the wrong number. I really liked your response. Sorry about that. Have a nice day. Like I can almost, maybe it's because I've spent time with you and I know you, but the way you text is the way you talk. It's your personality. And so it's like, oh, no problem. Like, have a nice day. But so you didn't ruin that person's life. I think that's important because a lot of times people's biggest fear is that someone's going to get mad at them. And some people might get mad at you because why are you reaching out to me? Who are you? What's this about? But most people are just people. And when you're your nice, normal self, at the end of the day, you've realized that this is a bad lead and you can disqualify them, right? You don't have to wonder if this is a lead that might have purchased because they disqualified themselves, and that's important to know.
Correct.
Here's another one. This person said, thanks. This person emailed you. So this is always interesting to me too. You sent a voicemail, an email, and a text message. They responded by email. They said, thanks for reaching out. We're no longer looking. We found a home in Oregon. Alex, you said, that's awesome. I wish the best for you. I like that a lot. I mean, the way you can and should teach people like how to be their natural selves, because you know, they don't have to be unnatural when they're dealing with people. That's what makes people hate their job, right?
Exactly. Like for example, when somebody calls me and they're and I go, I'm not interested, and they keep bugging me and bugging me, that gets annoying. So that's why when somebody responds back and says, not interested, I'm very kind. And actually some of them, you know, because they're not used to that, they're just used to this aggressive sales. I believe in no one wants to be sold to, but everybody wants to buy. It's like, if they tell you that, okay, that's fine. Then you just stop. And then if they want to, they'll reach out to you. But it's like, we want to work with people that have raised their hand and says, yes, I need your help. We want to focus our energy on that versus going after somebody that's telling me, no, no, thank you, I'm not ready now. Maybe they're not ready now. Maybe they'll be ready in 6 months, but we leave it at that. We just don't get into, okay, well, you know, yeah, we got the wrong number, but are you thinking about buying? Because when you do that, then it gives them red flag. Then wait a minute, then, you know, I told you this was a wrong number. Now, were you intentionally trying to do this to me? So it's like, you got to be very careful. It's a great line that you got to be careful.
Absolutely. And by the way, Jeff, I see your question. I just wanted to remind everybody that if you guys have questions about anything specific that that Alex or I are mentioning, just go ahead and type them into the chat box, and then I'll go back. I'll go back periodically, and then definitely at the end, and that way we can answer your questions, and whether they're about the system or best practice or Alex. You know, Alex has offered his assistance to be able to help in any way that he can as well. So any questions, just type them into the questions box, and I'll make sure we get to them. I wanted to ask you, Alex, this person responded, but it probably wasn't the response that you would love, right? He said, can you send me the rent roll? Oh, this is a commercial space. So it's
yes,
not something,
commercial.
okay,
So we have a commercial building in Oakland. So he said he wanted the rent roll because it's 3 units upstairs and 2 units downstairs. And yes,
that's cool.
Interested. Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was a residential person that was looking to rent a place.
Yeah.
And here we go. Here's one right here. So you followed up with this lead a bunch of times. They say, hello, I'm looking to rent right now. And your conversation, how many bedrooms are you looking at? 2. I'll keep my eyes open. Great, thank you. You're welcome. That's great. Let me ask you, I mean, does it, I would imagine that kind of response discourages some people because they're like, oh man, I'm paying for a renter lead. Like, how do you feel about that personally? Like, do you feel
Actually,
like
we don't do property management, but we do lease property. So when I asked her how many bedrooms and she said 2, we actually had 1. So, but however, that was already taken. And it's good to just keep these people around because these tenants are eventually will become buyers, right? So you want to have that conversation, but then again, like I said, nobody wants to be sold to, but everybody wants to buy. You just got to be very soft. That's my approach. Now, some people are very aggressive, but my approach is this is the way I do it because I don't like when someone calls me and they're very aggressive with me. So this is our approach and it works for us.
I love it. I think did we look at this one? Thanks for reaching out. We found a home in Oregon. Yes, I think I pulled that one up already. This person picked up the phone and called you. It took a voicemail, a couple text messages, but they picked up the phone and called you at 9 a.m.
Yep. And then some of them, when they do call us and they go, you know what, thank you so much, I'm not ready yet, maybe in the future. Then what we do is we just go into Agent Legend and we change it to a 6-month follow-up plan, right? So it's like you just put it in there and then all my messages are already been pre-recorded. Everything is already dialed in. So I don't even have to think about it. It's already in there. And when I start getting text or messages coming back from the app Agent Legend, somebody's saying, oh, you know what, I'm ready now, or you know, then we know. So, but it's all dialed in. So that's what I love, that you know, you're not constantly thinking, oh my God, I forgot to call this person, or oh my God, I forgot to call that person. It's already in there. Again, fortune is in the follow-up. 70 to 80% of your business is going to come from follow-up. They're not ready now. They might be ready in the future. And that's why you need to make sure that you're on top of it.
Excellent. So let's look at your campaign, and you can talk to us about your strategy here because it's working really well for you. It's been working really well for you. So this is your old leads campaign. It's 3 days long. I'm going to let people hear what you're saying, okay?
Go ahead.
All right, let me turn up my volume here. Hopefully you guys can hear this.
Hey there, it's Alex Khodadad with Delphi Realty Group. We talked a while back regarding your home search, and I just wanted to see how things were going, if there's anything I can do to help you at this point. Whether you're interested or not, if you can shoot me a text or give me a call, I would really appreciate it.
Were you able to hear that okay?
Yes. And the thing is that you got to understand what people's love language is. So if somebody calls you, you know that they want to be on the phone. Now, if somebody texts you, which majority of our conversations are on a text, and one thing people need to understand, your job is to start conversation and dig deep, right? So if they say, I'm interested, then, then you were texting, but you're starting conversation, and what you're trying to do is set appointments. So for buyers, you're trying to get them into the office or go out there and show properties. And for listings, you're trying to set those appointments. So it's all about just being able to get in front of them as fast as you can and be able to start a conversation to hopefully set appointment, not to close the deal, but just to set appointment. There was a great book written by Chris Smith called Conversion Code. And for those of you that have read it, wonderful. And if you haven't, I highly recommend you get the book, Chris Smith, A Conversion Code. And it talks about marketer, scheduler, and closer. And Agent Legend is the tool that needs to be used when it comes to the scheduler, so you're setting appointments.
Yeah, that's a great recommendation. And Alex, let me ask you, so you are sending out a voicemail, so they're going to hear your voice first. Yep. 10 minutes later, you're doing an email.
Yep.
And that's cool. You're saying the market's changed since we last connected. I want to make sure you're aware of what's going on. If you're interested, I'd love to share some information. That's cool. You're just being your comfortable self, right?
Yep.
And then 5 minutes after the email, you're sending a text message.
Yep.
A lot has changed, and I want to give you an update. Is that something that, I don't know if you've only used this last part recently, or like, do you have any feedback on that last sentence? Like, how important is that?
It is.
This angle being like a lot has changed. Does that work well?
Yeah, because a lot have changed. Like if the market is slowed down, so it's good, because if the market went up or went down, that would apply. A lot has changed. It doesn't say the market has gone up or the market's gone down. It just says a lot has changed. So if there's price reduction in your market, then they're calling you, well, what do you mean, what's changed? Well, the prices have reduced. Or they'll call you, and if it's gone up, then you say prices have gone up. So that's why it just keeps it vague. A lot has changed.
That's smart. I like it. And so that's what you do on day one. And then on day two, you send a text message, just checking in on your home search. I know of some exciting new listings I think you'll love. Are you interested in seeing them? I like that. Do you get many responses on day two, or do they mostly come on day 1 and 3?
Some of them, they come on day 3. Some of them don't come back, and we got to put them to nurture. It all depends, when they're in the mood to talk to you. Some of them you can never get hold of, and some of them, but typically on the re-engagements, when we would upload the 50 a day from Zillow, majority of them came on day 1.
That's great. That just speaks to, I guess it's almost like these people are just sitting there waiting for somebody to get back in touch with them, right?
Correct.
Okay, so day 3, right? So the first 2 days they've ignored you. Day 3 in the morning, this is what you say.
Hey there, it's Alex Khodadad with Delphi Realty Group. I know it's been some time since you inquired about buying, and just wanted to see if you're still looking. The market has shifted since we last connected, and I want to make sure you are aware of what's going on. If you're interested, I would love to share some information about the current market and provide an updated list of the properties that meet your needs. Please give me a call when you have a chance.
That's awesome.
So it says it has shifted. So shifted what? Shifted up, shifted down, so.
Right, you left it open, so it applies either way.
Because remember, you're trying to create conversations. You want to get them on the phone so you can build that connection. That's the thing. You need to build that connection. These people don't know you, and you need to build that connection. And by them having a conversation with you and getting to know you, that's how they feel more comfortable.
That's excellent. And then I like this, not yet. So at this point, you're just saying, I realize a lot of people are just searching online. A lot of our happiest clients started out this way. And I just want to let you know I'm here to answer. I like that. Whether you're looking to buy in 2 months or 2 years, I'm okay with that. And when you say here, if you don't mind, email me back your story. I just know from experience that email, I mean, all the mediums are important, but people get inundated with email more than anything else.
Yeah.
Do you I feel like this is a really just a great like personal connection, human way of introducing yourself and getting to know them, right? It's not like a stale transactional email. Do you get a response to this, or?
Yes, I mean, we've got response for a lot of different things, but yeah, I mean, it's like, again, it's about creating that conversation. So email me your story. I'm not saying, what's your story? Like, oh, thank you so much. I'm not ready yet. I'm renting. Okay, then, when will your lease expire? Oh, it's going to expire in 6 months. Wonderful. Then, we'll stay connected. And then what I do, then I put them in the re-engagement or, the follow-up. So it's just about creating conversation. Again, in that book, Chris Smith, he talks about dig deep or go to sleep, right? It's like digging deep. You got to keep asking questions. Great salespeople ask questions. God's given you 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you need to ask questions, because with those questions, you'll find out like, okay, well, yes, I'm buying, but I also need to sell my house. Well, now you got a listing and a buyer. So that's why you're trying to create conversations by asking, and the way you do that is by asking questions.
That's excellent. And that's so true.
And it's not about you, it's about them, right? So it's like, it's all about them, and you're just a facilitator, that's all.
Yeah, from my perspective, we've worked with, our company has just helped thousands of agents. We have data, we have, excuse me, millions of records of data on like what works and what's getting response. And I've had people ask, like, well, how does this continue to work if so many people are going after their leads the same way? And I think that this is why there's such an opportunity, and that the market's not saturated. It's because there's nobody who has Alex's personality in Alex's area that runs his business like Alex. Like, there are so many different personalities out there that all you have to do is be yourself. And obviously, I mean, you need to know your niche and your target and who you can help and who you can talk to, because you've got to be comfortable in your own skin. But I mean, by the time we work with people, they're already there. And so the coolest thing is that, Alex, your voicemails, your text messages, your emails, you didn't create any of those things different from how you actually talk. And I think that that's why you're so successful. And that's also why, you wouldn't be as successful if you just, did somebody else's thing because it worked for them. So personally, I find that encouraging, because once you know how to be yourself, we extend that, right?
Yep. Correct.
If that makes sense. Alex, we have some questions that have lined up. So if you're okay, I'm going to ask some questions from folks.
Go ahead.
Okay, and if you guys have more questions, please go ahead and just type them, and I promise you we'll get to them. So Stephanie asks, I like the re-engage into other campaigns after initial. So Stephanie likes the idea of putting people into different campaigns. She says, how do you extract the data to pull non-responsive leads and dump them into a new campaign? So some of these might be technical questions, and Alex, I'll just give the straightforward answer for instruction. If you have anything to add to it, you let me know if you do things a little differently than I'm about to show, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so one thing that everybody has in their account is this. Well, there's 2 ways. You can click prospects, and that will show you who your prospects are. But if you specifically want to see which prospects in a specific campaign, you go into the campaign, you click prospects, and then you can sort by the ones that have responded and the ones that did not respond. And so if you want, you can sort this by the people that did not respond, click who they are, and then add them to a different campaign. So it's a practice you'll get into. And we have some people that go in once a week and they just clean out their campaigns and move them into new ones. You could do it once a day. I think it's important to do it yourself. There's a reason we don't automate it. It's because we don't want, there are little things that only you're aware of as to whether you want someone to go to this campaign or that campaign. So, Stephanie, you can do it this way. And you can also do it mass as well if you want to put them in a CSV, if you have like a ton of them that you want to put into a different campaign. Alex, is that your strategy for that, or do you do something different?
No, that's it.
All right. So Campbell asks, how long after the initial Zillow contact do you put people into the stale lead drip? So, I mean, that's a really good question, actually. So when does that old leads campaign actually take effect? When do you?
Can you go to the campaign for buyer lead right there, Zillow on the top?
Yep.
Buyer leads conversion Zillow right there. So then you can go down and there should be a 14-day follow-up. And after that, if we cannot get a hold of them, it automatically goes into nurture.
Right. You're actually right. That's another distinction I think somebody else asked. So Alex has a 14-day campaign here. So what this means, Campbell, is that if someone comes in from Zillow, they're going to hear from Alex for the next 14 days. But after that, if they don't respond, a couple things might happen. One, Alex is using auto nurture right here. So because auto nurture is on, after 14 days, when this campaign ends, they're going to automatically get dropped into auto nurture. This is where all the people that don't respond end up getting dropped here automatically. And then Alex, I'm going to play your auto nurture voicemail real quick too.
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Alex Khodadad with Delphi Realty Group. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Just checking in to see if you're still interested in purchasing a home. And if you are, if you can call or text me so we can kind of zoom in and see the area that you're looking at and the criteria, what you're looking for. Looking forward to talking to you soon. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, so that's good, actually. I really like how you handled that, because so the idea is that whenever a lead comes in, they'll go through your initial campaign, whether it's 3 days or 14 days or whatever, but as long as you're using auto nurture, when that campaign's done, if that person has not responded, they get dropped here. And auto nurture, it's designed to be the soft, they didn't respond to your aggressive follow-up, right? So you don't want to be as aggressive as the initial campaign. But you need, because they're probably not ready, or they're ignoring you, right? Like if someone's ignoring you after 14 days, like you probably need to change your cadence. So auto nurture is like, it's a soft touch where every other week they're getting a follow-up from you. So Alex recorded this voicemail, and the voicemail only goes out like every other month. So they're not getting this voicemail all the time. We mix it up. So auto nurture, everybody in here is softly being followed up with. They're being nurtured so that way they don't get forgotten. Alex, do you ever notice a difference when people respond? Like, have you ever realized the context of like, this person responded to my old leads campaign, this person responded to my auto nurture campaign? Is that something you're ever aware of, or do you just answer the phone and it always works out?
I just answer the phone. I'm just, I go back and I look at the data, but I'm just answering the phone. Either they're calling me, they want to work, or maybe they're calling me and say, look, you've sent me all these emails and texts, please stop. I'm not interested, or I'm not ready. And then I say, no problem. We apologize for any inconvenience. And then we just stop everything. If they're upset, but if they're not ready, they go, I'm just not ready right now. Then we dig deep. But if they're telling us to stop, we're not interested, we don't even go dig deep anymore, because we just don't want to do that. So we just stop right there.
Right. That's great advice. And Stephanie, sorry, I left you confused on auto nurture. So all you have to do, Stephanie, to use it is make sure this is on in your campaign. As long as this is on, then you're telling Agent Legend that you want the prospect to be dropped into auto nurture after the fact. You don't have to do anything else. So And you can click auto nurture here on the left if you want to record your voicemail or see or learn anything more about that. By the way, guys, this is a customer webinar. So anything that I say that leaves you with more questions or you need help, go ahead and just click this contact support button. And we're here to help you in any way that we can. We're not expecting you to do all this on your own. We're here to do everything we can to help you. So feel free to just engage our team and let them help you. So, if something's not sticking or something's overwhelming, we want to take care of it for you. Desiree asks a question. How are you guys handling the new phones that now block calls from unknown numbers? Is there a way around this? So, Desiree, our system actually bypasses the phone. So the call doesn't actually get blocked because there is no call to speak of, right? So our system just drops voicemails. And the benefit of that is the person's phone doesn't actually ring. So that blocking stuff does not apply.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And then Brenda says, I thought that once the borrower responds, it shuts off auto nurture. Yes, Brenda, when somebody responds to the normal campaign, the normal campaign shuts off. But if they are in auto nurture, the auto nurture campaign also shuts off upon response. So auto nurture only works until the person responds.
And that's under fast response. Yep.
Yes, you're right, Alex. Yeah, we call that a fast response campaign. Oh my gosh, okay. So Kevin asks a good question. He says, hi, Alex, we have approximately 4,500 old leads in our CRM dating back over 4 years. How far back have you found are still responsive?
This is what I'm going to tell. I'm glad this Kevin brought this up. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? So mine went back 3 years on Zillow. Okay, so I was like, you know what? I made my money with Zillow. I'm going to transfer it over to Realtor.com, but let me go back and squeeze as much I can squeeze out of it. And I just didn't, the resource of having my ISA pick up the phone and call all these people. I put 50 in a day into Agent Legend, and it would take care of it within 5 minutes, and it would just respond. So out of the 1,500, we picked up 3 deals. We've got 2 listings, and we've got a lender. I guess one of the lenders had reached out to me from 2 years ago. Now it's co-marketing with us. So that was wonderful. So that's what I got out of the 1,500. But what I got that was even more important, I got a wake-up call, guys. I got a wake-up call of 25 to 30% of the people saying, thank you so much, I already bought a house. That was like punch in the gut, right? It's like, what did I do wrong? Now, sometimes no matter how much follow-up you do, they're not going to work with you. Maybe because you know how realtor, it's amazing. Like even on Zillow, they'll reach out to you. They'll go, hey, I want to look at this house. They have a realtor. They don't want to bother their realtor. They want to bother you and have you show them the house. And they're still going to go back work with their own realtor. So some of those, I know no matter how much follow-up we would have done, they would have never worked with us. But even if half of it, that's half the money I left on the table. That's why when people say leads they're not good, what I say is you need to understand conversion. You need to understand how to convert before you generate leads. So before you go spend thousands of dollars on Zillow or whatever, you need to understand how to convert. So going back to your question, Kevin, 4,500, I would go back to the beginning. You're going to get some people, you might even get some realtors calling you and saying, hey, why are you sending me this stuff? Well, because you reached out to me a while back, inquired. Even realtors had reached out to me. They called me, they were upset. And I go, look, you had reached out to me and we're just reaching, oh, okay, no problem. And then I would ask them, well, what area do you cover? Well, I cover this area. Okay, wonderful. Maybe we can do some sort of a referral and help each other out. So I was able to build what we call a core 100. But I would go back to the beginning. I would not say, oh, after 6 months. Now, some people say 6 months, and the person who told me, Alex, go back to the beginning was Alexandra. I called up Alexandra. I said, Alexandra, some of this is from 3 years ago. She goes, Alex, I don't care. Go back to the beginning. And I did. Okay, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a wake-up call for you when you go back to the beginning and you see the amount of people that went with somebody else and bought a house, right? But also, what does it hurt you? You got 4,500, even if you get 1% of it, 45 deals, or even 0.5% of it, right? That's all that money that you spend on Zillow or whatever. At least you can recoup some of that money. So I would go back to the beginning, and because somebody could have bought 4.5 years ago with another realtor, now maybe they're thinking about selling and you're reaching out to them, right? So what I would do, I would go back to the beginning and I would follow with all of them. And this, what I recommend all of you, find out all the sources that you're getting business. You're getting from Zillow, Realtor.com, that's online, wonderful. Now, find out the sources that you get what we call referral marketing. That would be your Sphere, that would be your past clients. Make sure that you've created all your campaigns, updated them, and turn them all on and start taking advantage of them ASAP. Don't spread yourself thin. Go back to the last year and say, where did most of my business come from and where did most of my leads come from? It came from Zillow, it came from Realtor, it came from ZBuyer, it came from past clients Sphere. Then you better make sure all those campaigns are turned on. If you have not had any business from for sale by owner in the last year or expired, you could do those, but that should be last. Focus on creating those campaigns, because I see some people, they'll sign up with Agent Legend, but they're not fully optimizing and taking advantage of all the different campaigns. And you need to turn all these campaigns on and get this thing dialed in.
I love the I love the passionate insight, Alex. That's amazing. Kevin, by the way, said, awesome, love it. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Alex. Very inspiring. That was Kevin saying that, as well as me agreeing with it. And Michael, yes, this is recorded. We are recording this, although I always get nervous. I never know if there's going to be an issue, but we are planning on sending out the recording. Alex, another question from Brandon. He says, hey, Alex, how many old leads have you reconnected with that you believe are viable prospects? So I know you said you got a couple deals and a co-marketing partner, but do you have any idea, like, how many of the leads that you reconnected with are I suppose I like the way he asked it, viable prospects? Like, how many of them do you think, I'm glad I reconnected with this person because I think there's potential here in the near future? Do you have a sense of that?
Okay, so for example, with Zillow, we got 3 deals that we've already closed. We got 2 listings, and we've got a marketer. Co-marketer that's come out of that. That's out of 1,500. But yet, when I go back in there, not all of them have re-engaged, only 33% of them, right? So there's still another 67% that I can try to re-engage with them again, right? And until, like I told you, until they say, leave me alone. I mean, some of these people, if you remember, we put them in May, and they're finally answering now, because some people, they're not ready. Your success, when I say fortune is in the follow-up, your success sometimes comes from luck and timing. Your timing, right? You want to be in front of them. They might not be ready now. They might not even want to hear from you. Every time they get your message, they delete and don't want to talk to you. But that one day that they get your message or your text, maybe they're ready and you got them, right? So does that answer his question?
Yeah, I like the way you said it. I mean, I think you brought up the example perfectly by saying that, I mean, people who we put in there in May are just responding now. So it's just continuous follow-up, right? Well, let me ask it like this. Are people respond and say, I'm not interested, or stop, right? So obviously you take those off the list. But do you get responses that are encouraging, where the person, where you say, okay, I'm still gonna follow, even though this person responded, this is like viable, even though it doesn't sound like they're gonna do something now, but I'm gonna put them back in again 3 months later. Like, you see do you notice opportunities like that, or is everybody usually like a hard no or a hard yes?
No, there's people like you saw those couple that you showed, Alex, please call me. So the minute I get someone like that, I pick up the phone and call them. Then I connect them with one of my agents, because we're a team. I own the brokerage, but our model here is a team. Like we're going to end up doing about 22 to 23 million this year in business, and I've generated 75% of that. So I'm like the rainmaker, but I've not done one real estate transaction. My job is just to create the marketing and have with me and the ISA scheduling. So then I give them to my team. Now they take them. Now they would take them. Then we'll take them out of Agent Legend. If somebody says I'm ready 3 to 6 months, then we're going to put them in what's called collaboration. So they'll put them into our MLS. They'll put them in collaboration, and they're going to start getting. So they're going to get a totally different nurture, right? So it's like once we've got them and we've created that conversation, we want to keep them, and we're not going to use technology anymore. It's going to be that personal touch that we're going to be able to talk with them. But if somebody says I'm not ready for another year, then we'll put them on a 6-month plan and then follow up. But it's about connecting with them. So once I create that conversation and I've set that expectation with them by introducing them to one of my team member runs with the ball, and they take over then from there moving forward.
That's excellent. And I love this example. This was an old lead you reached out to. They said, "Who's this?" You said, "Hi, you reached out to us on Zillow, and I was just following up to see if you're still in the market. If not, I apologize." And this made me laugh. Probably not me, but I'm looking for a house in a particular area of Michigan. That's just so funny. Probably not me, right? So it's like, I mean, it was obviously someone put their number in, and they just happened to be looking for a house. So it's just funny, right?
Yeah, and then what I did is I connected them with an agent in Michigan, and then got a referral fee from it, right? So it's like, because I have that network of agents around the country. So yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, we have a bunch more questions. I'm just going to scroll through here. Okay. Sorry, I'm just clicking through. We've answered some of these. So Keith says, just starting, we'll do 60 million this year. I've been selling for 20 years and I'm just 40. That's awesome, Keith.
Good for you, man. You're an inspiration. Congratulations, brother.
Yeah. So Keith is moving past clients and various leads, old and new. Let me read the rest of your question here. Yes. So Keith, we do have templates. So Keith basically asked, sorry, Keith, I just had to read your entire question. So Keith asked if you have a system that shows successful cadence of voicemails, text messages, emails. So yes, yes, Keith, and this goes for anybody. If you go to templates right here on the left, excuse me, if you go to templates and we have so many of them, but you can just start typing, you can see the different templates that we have. And we actually have templates for all sorts of different scenarios. These are pre-built, and all you need to do is click a couple buttons, and the templates are going to be pre-created for you. All you're going to do is re-record your voice. And that's it. And just so you guys know, because people say, well, what if I don't record my voice? What if I forget? The messages that we've recorded in there are such that we don't mention any names. So if you do forget, it'll just seem like somebody from your brokerage reached out. So no harm done. It'll just seem like an assistant from your brokerage.
But I highly recommend you going and doing this. It doesn't take time. I'm honest to God, it'll take you literally 5-10 minutes. I mean, yeah. It's not going to take that time. You got the time to go in there and create this. You will thank me. Please go in there and put your own voice in there and give them that personal touch.
I'm glad you said that, Alex, because I was just reconsidering Keith, and it's like Keith is over here telling us that he crushed it. He's been crushing it. He's great. I mean, so Keith, you want it to be your voice. I mean, what you're doing, Keith, is working. So make sure you record your voice over these templates. And if you guys, if you have any questions about any of it, our customer success team is here to help you. You just click the support button. They will go out of their way to help you get started. So help you get finished, help you get started, help you get everything set up. So we're here to help you with any of those hangups. CC asks, is it the same number that's used to reach out to each lead? Let me see. And then she says, for instance, my closed transactions are on a 1-year keep in touch campaign. But if I put them on the birthday campaign, will it come from the same phone number? Yes, Cece. Your account, your entire Agent Legend account is, all the campaigns come from one phone number. So you have different campaigns, they'll all come from you. And then Alex, Cece, if you use the Agent Legend iPhone app or the Android app, they'll just come right through the app. Your phone will ring from all the different campaigns through the app. And do you use the app, Alex?
Yes, I do. I have Android, so I have it, and then every time when a phone calls, and actually when you click on it, it's got notes where it came from, like Zillow, Real, Old, Reengage. That the app is unbelievable. I hope you guys have all downloaded that app. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we're really excited about, because we only only released recently. It was probably like a month and a half ago, where you could receive phone calls on the app. So what was exciting about that is, instead of just seeing a random phone number, your phone's ringing and you actually see the name of the person that's ringing and what campaign they came from. So you could just answer the phone saying, "Hi, John, thanks for calling me back," because that's why they're calling, right? They're responding to you. So do you do that, Alex? I'm curious. Do you mention the person's name?
Say that again.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, when someone's calling you and you can see who it is while your phone is ringing, do you answer the phone and pick up the conversation in their head? Like, are you like, "Oh, hey, Costas, thanks for calling me back"? Or do you just say hello? And
I just say, "Hi, this is Alex Khodadad," and then we just start a conversation. Mm-hmm. And then while we're doing that, then I'm looking to see who it is. But yeah, because they call, I just grab it right away.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted this screenshot that you got, the screen right here. One thing I want to show you guys, you see right there, it says time saved 67 hours and 18 minutes, guys. I mean, look at that. 1,136 follow-ups sent in the past 30 days. I mean, you see that? I know every one of you guys are clients, but just look at the time that you save because of this technology. It's unbelievable, the amount of time and money you save if you have to have somebody sitting there and calling all these people.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is an interesting, this cost per response stat. I don't know if you look at it, Alex, but we just put it in place to help, help understanding the ROI that you're getting on your lead source, or the cost per lead, right? Because, and this is as low as I've seen it. That's awesome. 18 cents per response over the last 30 days. You're getting a lot of responses. That's excellent. Okay. So Keith asks, when a text message goes out, does it come from your own number? So Keith, your Agent Legend account has its own phone number. You choose the number. It's in your area code. It's a local number in your area. And the app, once you put it on your phone, is going to automatically make and receive calls from that number. So you could just tell people, I mean, Alex, I don't know what you say when somebody asks you, like, is this your phone number or something? I know that, like, it's never been a problem. We've had people say, "Oh yeah, this is my computer line. I'm calling you on my computer line," or "This is my other phone line. Let me give you my direct cell. This is one of my lines." So it's never been confusing for the prospect. Do you ever have to answer that question, Alex?
Only with the sphere of influence. That's why what I did is I went back into sphere of influence and made sure that I put my name in there. Then then it starts a conversation. "Hey, Alex, did you change your number? Remember what I told you guys?" It's all about creating conversation, right? It's like, because when they get that, they're like, "Hey, I hope you're doing well," or, our past client that says, "Are you ready to buy another house?" with a little smiley face. And then they respond, they're like, "Who is this?" Well, I did put my name in there because these are people that know me. So when they see Alex Khodadad, then they respond like, "Hey, Alex, did you change your number?" And I said, "No, this is just a phone line that I have for people that are very near and dear to my heart," and you being one of them.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I like that. This is my exclusive line that I don't share with many people. That's awesome.
For people that are near and dear to my heart.
That's funny. No, that's great. That's really smart. Cece asks, how do I find out my phone number? So Cece, the important thing is you don't need to share your number with anybody. You don't even need to know your Agent Legend phone number, because you're not going to be giving out the number. The only time people are going to be calling you or texting you is because they're responding to a follow-up. You don't want to put that number on your business card or anything. But just so you know, if you ever want to know what it is, you could go to your contact settings inside your account and you'll be able to see what your Agent Legend number is. But I don't recommend you advertise it or say it anywhere. Just, people can always call you, you can call them, but you don't need to know what the number is. And then when you do get somebody on the phone and you talk to them, you just tell them like, hey, let me give you my direct line. I'll give you my personal cell phone. You could say any of that. Rachel asks, how do you retrieve voicemails from the Agent Legend number? So Alex, tell me if you've noticed this. We did, I just mentioned we just revamped our mobile app like a month and a half ago, right? And so when you don't answer the phone, let's say you're already using the phone and somebody calls you. I don't know if you've noticed this, Alex, but what will happen is, because we didn't want to have to build a voicemail that conflicts with your normal voicemail, because that's confusing, it's not convenient. What we do instead is, if you're busy on the line and somebody calls you, they'll get an automatic text message from you saying, I'm sorry, I'm on the call right now, can you text? So it's like if someone calls because they're responding, they're going to get that instant text from you saying, sorry, I'm in a meeting right now, can you text? And then that encourages them to text you, because let's face it, for most people that's easier. And also for you, if you're on the phone, if you're already on the phone, you might have to make a decision of, do I get off the phone right now in order to deal with this? So I don't know if you and I have never talked about this, Alex, and this is the first time I'm mentioning it on one of our webinars. So I don't know if you noticed it. I wonder if people have noticed that already, or if it's the first time you're hearing it now that I say it.
This is the first time I'm hearing it, and I actually love it. But usually what I do is, if I see them calling me, I finish my conversation really quickly, and then I just call them right back directly.
Nice. And do they know who you are when you're calling them back directly? Are they like, oh, thanks for calling me back?
Yeah, I say you had just reached out to me. Exactly. I let them know. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. No deceiving or anything. I say, hey, you had reached out to me, I'm just reaching back. Either they're happy to hear my voice, or they're like, please stop calling and texting me for the last 6 months.
Right. In which case you say, oh, okay, sorry.
I'm sorry for any inconvenience. You had reached out to us, and sorry. So it's like, these are people that have reached out to us. We're not cold calling anybody. They've reached out to us. Sorry about that. I'm not that person. No problem. I wish you the best. Have a wonderful day. When you tell them that, it throws them off. When you tell them that and you go, I'm sorry, have a wonderful, it throws them off, because they're used to like somebody like I had a guy calling me yesterday. We're having lunch and something told me pick up the phone. I pick up the phone, and guy's like, yeah, I'm trying to, this is what we do. I'm like, I'm not interested. And he just kept going and going and going. And I don't want to be rude. It's like, look, man, I'm not interested. Thank you. And it's like, so that's why, like with us, the minute they go, I'm not interested, no thank you, please don't bother me anymore, no problem, have a nice day.
That's great. Yeah, I love it. I mean, being comfortable, it's my personal insight every time we get with our customers, every time I look at someone's account, if by the time you come to us, you're comfortable with everything in your business. You just need to scale. You essentially need to multiply yourself. Do you know the movie Multiplicity, Alex, with what's it, Michael Keaton? Do you remember that movie?
Probably been a while. No, I don't remember.
It was, maybe it's kind of obscure, but he like cloned it. He cloned himself like 100 different times, and his wife didn't know, and so he was just running around doing everything.
I gotta see that.
Right. It was a funny movie, but I think of it every time I talk about our system, because the truth is, it takes you a long time to learn how to run your business, represent yourself, be natural, be comfortable. You can't fake that. You have to fake that for years before you actually get good at it. And then you're a powerful closer and you know the business, but then it's like, well, gosh, how do I scale this? How do I do this in a way that doesn't, take up my entire life? So that's why I'm just so pumped about being able to partner with you, Alex, and everybody else, because you guys are so successful. We're just helping like the best of the best to get better results than they would otherwise. And I love being able to say that, and I'm so proud of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it too.
I think there's maybe one question here. Ken asks, I think there's just one question we haven't gotten to. Ken says, if I get an email response on the app and I respond on the app, does it go back to the client as an email or a text? Ken, yes. So the app, that is a really good question, actually. If somebody responds to you on the app via email and you type another response, it will go back to them as an email. And then if they text you, it'll be a text. So it goes back to the person in the same medium they communicated to you. And our reasoning behind that is, right? Like you need to do, you should be calling, texting, and doing emails, right? Because different things are convenient for different people at different times. So you do all of them. But then if somebody emails you, then that tells you they're more comfortable with email. So you want to stick to that as a medium, right? So that's why we've built it that way. Gosh, well, I'm going, there's so many questions. There's more questions than I even am able to click through to read them, but I think these are duplicates. They're questions we've pretty much already answered. Alex, I want to thank you so much for being so generous with your time, with your knowledge, with your success. You are a total inspiration, man. You were so excited to come and help our customers and to share what's working, and I can't thank you more for that. Two things I want to ask you. Number one, do you have any final tip for everybody as far as what's the one thing above all other things in relation to our system and our accounts that you would tell them to do first?
Right now, go through your CRM. Christmas is right around the corner, and we all know the majority of your business comes from your past clients, and it comes from your sphere of influence. Go create a campaign, send them hey, just updating my CRM, want to send out a Christmas card gift to you. Can you please make sure this is great? Just start that conversation. You got 40, what is today, the 20th? You got 40, well, actually less than 40. You got about 30 days, 35 days to do this. All my coaching students, when I tell them to do this, they at least pick up 3 or 4 deals out of this, right? So this is the best time to create that campaign and go after your sphere and your past clients. These are the 2 people that I would be focusing on right now for the next 30 days. Create the campaigns and send them out to them. And one thing about Agent Legend, which I love, like Kevin was talking about, he had 4,500 people in his CRM. As people telling you, no, thank you, I'm not interested, you clean your CRM. It's a chance for you to clean. It's like cleaning your house, like spring cleaning. Now this is your December cleaning, right? So clean your CRM. If people don't want to be on there, or if they want to, they've moved away or whatever, this is your chance to clean. But focus right now on your sphere and past clients and create those campaigns.
That is amazing advice. And Nicholas asked a new question. Sorry, Nicholas, this just came up and I just saw it. You are curious if you look at auto nurture for old leads. You can do that, Nicholas. You can set up auto nurture for your old leads, so that way your old leads are going to be delivered over time. So yes, I think that was your question. Alex, this has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. We're going to have the recording. We're going to save the recording of this. So this is a very special training. We're going to have it and be able to share with our members for a long time to come. Alex, how can people get in touch with you if you're comfortable sharing that? Success breeds success, and there's when like-minded people get together, there's just so much synergy. So I know that people would love to be able to get in touch with you. And I realize I'm asking you that right now on a webinar with a million people. So I hope I haven't overstepped. If there's some way you feel comfortable giving people your contact info.
Sure, of course. They can go to connectwithalex.com. Connect.
Oh, all right.
You even have Alex, ALEX.com. You want to bring that up?
You even have a little website just for, that's great.
There you go. So if you scroll down, we got the Facebook personal business. You can, follow me on Instagram and become friends with me on Facebook. And you could there's some YouTube. You can go check out our YouTube and whatever. But connect with me on either Instagram, Facebook, and then my information. If you scroll down, Costas, I think my phone number is it's not there. But anyways, my number is 925-705-1300, 925-705-1300. You can call me, or you can connect with me on all these different platforms on social media.
That is incredible. I think you're going to get a lot of new friend requests.
Hey, no problem, man. We're here. It's all about contribution. We're here, and I believe in your product, and I will always support you.
Thank you so much. Well, listen, thank you everybody for spending your time with us today. We're going to get this recording ready. If there's anything that was unanswered, or you have any other further burning questions, if you need any help, if anything that we've said is interesting to you, but you need help making it happen, that's what we're here for. Just click this contact support button, and our team will be glad to do everything they can to help you. So thank you so much, Alex, and thank you everybody, and we'll see you on the next webinar.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Hope everybody the best, and happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas.
That's great.